Greetings and welcome back everyone. If you like these daily crypto analysis videos, hit the like button and subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends to help the channel grow. I'm CryptoSnake, back in to discuss some Bitcoin analysis. Now, following the Bitcoin pump from yesterday's video, I laid out exactly why I believe that Bitcoin will trend within this channel for a little while, and why I'm leaning short-term bearish to break down from this specific pump. Overall, I'm very mid-term and long-term bullish on Bitcoin, which if you haven't seen my previous video on the market cycle and the logarithmic scale, do yourself a favor and watch that. It's all about the macro trends of Bitcoin and where I think we're going long-term. But moving on from that, we appear to be respecting the trend that I set out and believe that Bitcoin would take. If we take a look down on the RSI, you can see this trend line that I established weeks ago, estimating the average breakdown position on the RSI of all previous peaks, and that it was in fact descending. And I also mentioned in previous videos that I believe that Bitcoin was very likely to be coiling up within this location for a breakout for the bull run, either staying within this symmetrical triangle and breaking out earlier or later by traveling down into the larger one. However, Bitcoin has come up to test this resistance level at the 45, hitting this trend line and striking back down exactly as expected. And also on the chart itself for Coinbase, you can see that we broke down from the 63.80 resistance level, which was heavy support, which we were stuck in for those 2 weeks in side trending madness. I do believe that this level will act as very strong resistance. We're going to basically just ping pong within this level. The boredom will start rising up and the pressure will start rising up as we continually test this and break out for the bull run. Now moving down to the 1 hour chart on Coinbase, you can see again that we broke down from this resistance level, trended, and we've been creating lower peaks. The SAR, or the stop and reverse indicator, has started to indicate a bearish reversal, and we're moving towards this hourly cloud. We've had a successful TK crossover in the bearish direction back here. The Chiku span is within the price, but it's also at the very bottom of the price and likely to break through on the next candle. If we break down into this hourly cloud, I can see the momentum increasing very rapidly for a dump from this peak. Now, if the price hits the top of this cloud and finds a bit of support and bounces back up, with the Chiku span bouncing up into the price level and continues through the price, we may see some side trending motion here throughout the weekend, very likely for an eventual dump on Monday. This obviously has been the trend for the previous weekends. Moving into the weekend, just a whole lot of side trending followed by a massive breakdown. Now, even though the price side trending here is a possibility, I'll lay out later in the video why I think it's much less likely than an actual breakdown, and I'll also set up some price targets. But first, let's move to the 4 hour chart, where we've had a very timid break through the 4 hour cloud, and we found some support on the top of the 4 hour cloud, which is also descending. The 4 hour chart is still maintaining the bullish SAR dots moving up, which will act as some support if the price breaks down. Now, the support of the 4 hour cloud I do believe will eventually be broken. We will have some support on the 4 hour Kijun-sen, so until this starts descending, unless we get a massive long squeeze, the price is likely to stay around this area, but I do believe that it will ultimately be broken. Now, switching back to the daily chart on Coinbase, just for a bit of bullish sentiment here, the daily Kijun-sen, which I did see descending previously, has started to plateau. This is normally a building of support. Now, this doesn't mean that the price won't necessarily break down through it and then eventually come back to it. In fact, in the previous video, I did believe that we were going to continue side trending through this channel, so the Kijun-sen may actually remain flatlined through this level, regardless of the pumps and dumps, because it would be an average. But if I see a correction up to the upside on the daily Kijun-sen, I will give that alert out to my VIPs. Same also applies to the Kijun-sen descending. Right now, I am leaning short-term bearish for a breakdown to this trend line. Now, if you'd like to join my free Telegram for insights on the market, including Bitcoin, altcoins, and a sneak peek to my personal entries and exits, join t.me/CryptoSnakePit. Links directly to the chat and a link on how to install Telegram, which is a free chat program I use to communicate with my VIPs, in the description below. I've also launched my official Twitter, so follow me at CryptoSnakeVIP to get regular updates. We also pulled some savage gains in the VIP last month on leverage trades and altcoins. I've also given out a list of potentially discount altcoins I plan to ride for the bull run to my VIPs, which I intend to ride for massive profits. I also give out hot altcoin swing positions every week. If you want information on how to get into the VIP group to be part of these trades, the information is also in the description below. Now, I want to take a minute in this video to actually address Ethereum. Ethereum's price is maintaining around the daily Kijun-sen. Lower time frames are also following Bitcoin. Ethereum is moving into the hourly cloud with the bearish SAR above. Now, while I normally am bullish with Ethereum long term, short term I am very bearish right now, and for one specific reason, which I will go ahead and address here. If we flip over to the Ethereum longs, you can see how overextended we are on the 4 hour chart. The RSI has broken down to the 70 after peaking up at the 79. This normally indicates the beginning of a long squeeze. Now, if you don't know what a long squeeze is, a long squeeze is basically mass liquidations of longs, and longs are bets that a coin is going to go up. All of that money from the exchange is removed from the market, causing a massive price dump. Now, if we move down to the hourly on Ethereum longs, we can see a potential bearish TK crossover forming, with the Chiku span moving towards the price and bearish SARs above. These are all indications that the price is going to start dropping, and if that price drops fast enough, we're very likely to start seeing mass liquidations. Now, if we go down to the 30, you can see a confirmed TK crossover in the bearish direction, and if we switch to the Heiken Ashi, we are still producing red candles as we move towards this 30-minute cloud. I'm expecting this to ramp up in the next couple of hours or so. However, it could take anywhere from 4 to 8. Now, flipping back to the Ethereum chart, this drop won't be anything massive, going down to the 4-hour. It will actually be less than this one, but we are very likely to break down to the 198 to the 195 level if we break down from this long squeeze. Now, flipping back to Ethereum shorts, what's important to note about this long squeeze as well is that the short positions are heavily oversold. Both of these acting together will cause the price to go back to an equilibrium. The shorts will rise and the longs will fall, which makes this play very volatile. Now, flipping over to the Bitcoin shorts, if this Ethereum long squeeze plays out as expected, it may actually cause some panic on Bitcoin as well to see that money flowing out of the market so quickly. And with these shorts heavily oversold on Bitcoin, I am expecting these to start rising, which could cause a dump on Bitcoin as well to bring us back to our previous price targets, which I'll go ahead and lay out now. I believe Bitcoin will break down from this back to the previous trend line around 6,200. Whether that's a wick or not, more likely target is somewhere around the 6,250 level, but still a test of 6,200 is possible as we wicked down to it from this level on the previous dump before shooting back up. So we are still holding very heavy support around 6,200, and this trend line is rising. Now, as for the overall market cap today, we're sitting at about 207 billion. We've lost about $1 billion in the last 24 hours or so. This is normally a good indication that a dip could be coming. The altcoin market is also starting to see a little bit of red. People are liquidating some of their altcoin positions, probably to switch over into Bitcoin or Tether. As for Bitcoin dominance, we're still in the 53 to 54% range. No change there. No real alt season on the horizon just yet. Bitcoin is still absolutely dominating the field. Interesting news stories of note today. The SEC says it shut down more than a dozen illegal ICOs in the past year. If you watched my earlier videos, you guys know how I feel about ICOs. I don't think they're a solid investment. I think it's better to buy those coins as soon as they list on the exchange and they dump. You'll often get them at a better price than you would if you invested in the ICO alone. But it does show that the law enforcement is actually cracking down on the space. And with these crackdowns occurring, we're less likely to see a lot of these ICO scams. It seems that the federal government really wants to go after them. In the previous video, I laid out why I think we have actually started the bull run, and I think this bull run is probably going to put 2017 ICOs to shame as far as how many ICOs we're going to start seeing popping up. We're going to see a lot of new coins on the market as Bitcoin starts to explode again. Now, another interesting story today, kind of ironic considering what I laid out yesterday with the logarithmic scale. This is Bitcoin sees new price support from 7-year long rising trend line. Now, this is basically what I laid out in the previous video about the logarithmic scale and how we are so close to that support line, and how I do believe that this support line is actually going to instigate the bull run. We are so close to completing this market cycle now, and this story again just supports this. This is over on CoinDesk if you want to read it. I just found it kind of ironic that I laid it out the day before they post this up. Now, of course, we can't finish up this video without more Tether news. Now, Tether released a letter from their bank stating that the amount of funds in their bank account actually exceeded the amount of Tether tokens in an attempt to assuage concerns about Tether not being backed one by one with the US dollar. Now, Twitter and some other people basically taken it upon themselves to analyze this letter and try to produce more FUD on Tether. Now, some people believe that this letter was written to Tether for Tether, but communication with the actual bank has confirmed that Tether is in fact backed one-to-one with the Tether tokens. It would appear that Tether can't really shirk this Tether FUD that's been going around, so I think we're going to see a lot more of this come up, and Tether's going to be really under a fine microscope as we see a lot of these other true value tokens come out into the space. Currently, I'm not really concerned about Tether falling. I'm still using it as a stable coin. But just to give a quick recap on where I think Bitcoin's going before I wrap this video up, I believe Bitcoin is going to break down to the 6,200 trend line and kind of ping pong within this range of the resistance and support between 6,380 and 6,200. This will likely continue until we hit that support line of the logarithmic trend line and start moving into some higher peaks and start producing some higher highs. So that's it for today's technical analysis. If you do make any trades today, I wish you luck. Please join me in my free Telegram at t.me/CryptoSnakePit, where I give up-to-the-minute updates on Bitcoin and my personal exits and entries for the private VIP group. Also included is our private VIP chat, where you can chat with many of our experienced Savage traders, get personal technical analysis from me, and answer any questions you might have. This is CryptoSnake, signing off.